What is up, my friends? What is up? What is up? Kenny here. How the heck are you doing, Crusaders? We are back with another Cruspire live training. I told you I was going to do it. I'm going to keep pumping these trainings out here so you can get further along in your career. Listen, it's almost the end of the year in touring, and traditionally speaking, uh it's like the season is starting to be over. However, on this side of the pandemic, all of that has changed, and now there's not really a hard season of touring. Most of the time, bands would have been starting to wind down. You'd have some holiday shows that would go out, Trans-Siberian Orchestra, Christmas tours, that type of thing. Uh, and then people would start back up again with rehearsals in January and so on. I got to tell you, there are people that are rehearsing right now for top of year tours. There are people that are starting to staff tours at the end of the year for next year's tours. And so my advice to you is to never stop doing the things that I'm going to share with you in this video today. I'm going to share with you the 3 keys. There are 3 real keys that give you job security as a touring person. Okay. There are only 3 real keys that give you job security as a touring person. I was actually at a show with a guitar tech friend of mine the other day, and he was telling me, he's like talking about the artist, and he was worried, because the artist is talking about taking some time off in the year, and he's it's very volatile. He's not sure what he's going to do next because of the artist and them taking time off. And I'm like, whoa, what do you mean? Like, you're a freelancer, you're a guitar tech, you're your own business, especially as a guitar tech and a freelancer, which freelancers in our industry, by the way, if you don't know, are positions like guitar technicians, backline techs, stage managers, production managers, tour managers, oftentimes. Because if you do like audio, video, lighting, pyro, staging, those type positions, you have a company that you work with, and that company will keep you busy the best that they can. But especially as a freelancer, like, you're on your own here. You have to hustle up the opportunities yourself. And that's a whole other video. And I will dive into how to actually get gigs as a freelancer. It's certainly a really great training that I will do eventually. However, on this training today, I'm going to give you the 3 keys to make sure that you don't have to feel that worry like my guitar tech friend. You don't have to be all worried if the artist is going to take time off to cut a record, or you're not going to have to worry about really ever finding gigs and be worried about the work again. Because yes, you work with those artists, but you work for yourself. Okay. And truth be told, even if you're a company person, you work for yourself, you work with these companies. It's a mindset. I know that you're W-2, and I know that you literally are on their payroll. But if you can switch your mindset to that you work for you with them, that they hire your goods and services, you can bring your own level of standards to this industry, to the work, to your offerings, and you will find yourself on every opportunity that they offer. Okay, every opportunity that they offer. Okay, so I'm going to dive into this. Let's dive into this. These are the 3 keys. I call them the 3 R's. Okay, they are. I'll tell you what the keys are, and then we'll break these down over the next few minutes. So the first R is resume. The second R is reputation, and the third R is relationships. Let's break this down. So the first R is resume. By resume, I don't literally mean your physical resume. By the way, we have a touring resume training on the feed. Go check it out. Touring resumes are way different than corporate resumes, regular resumes. So I want to encourage you, especially if you're a touring pro already, you're working to get on tour, go watch that training. It is going to blow your mind. That training has helped hundreds of people break into the conversation with that resume. Okay. So go check that training out. But by resume, I mean your experience. All right. Your experience is leverageable. Okay. Your resume, your experience is leverageable. The more experience that you have, the more leverage that you have, because you're able to communicate that, you're able to understand that, and the people that you work with on all of that experience that you got will know that, okay? And so your resume is leverageable, and it's leverageable to the next step. So if you have local crew resume experience, well, guess what? You can take that local crew resume experience and put yourself up for opportunities to the next level, which is specialty. Okay. If you have specialty resume experience, then you can take that and bring it to the touring world. If you have touring experience, then you can take that touring, that ground level touring experience, and move up the touring ladder of responsibilities and options and opportunities. Okay. So your resume, the first R, is leverageable. The more experience, the better. The more specialized experience, the better. And the way that you can effectively lay that out, sure, on a paper resume certainly helps, but having your experience is going to give you that job security. Not being secure with some company or some artist. You're never secure with some company or some artist. There are literally companies that I used to work with when I got my resume built up, when I got my experience built up. They don't even exist anymore. In Atlanta, there were production companies that I worked with in my early production days that literally do not exist anymore. If I would have put all of my eggs in the company basket, I would have lost out, because my job security is in the experience that I'm getting while working with these opportunities, not the actual artist or the company itself. Okay. You have job security because you're good at what you do and you can prove it through that resume. Okay. Speaking of good at what you do, the second R is reputation. Your reputation is everything in this industry. Okay. Your reputation will always precede you. All right. Companies' reputation precedes them. And so do artists' reputations precede them. But independently, so will yours. If you've probably worked with certain production companies locally or touring stagehand companies, if you're a touring person, you've probably worked with some of these stagehand companies. You're like, oh gosh, this union or that union, I can't. We got to go deal with those people again. That's a reputation. They have these certain stagehand companies or unions have reputations of being easy, difficult, good, bad, whatever it might be. Okay, not calling any one of these companies or unions out, but there are reputations that dictate if you care to work with one of these companies or not. You know what I'm talking about. Same thing with production companies. Same thing with artists. Certain production companies have reputations, whether you want to work with them or not. So do you. Okay. You have a reputation, whether you want to be worked with or not. And your reputation, along with that resume, that experience that you have, is going to get people to want to work with you. Whenever someone, let me ask you a question. If somebody is talking about you behind your back, good or bad, what do you think they'll say? If some, production steward or a steward, ask a stage person, hey, how's Kenny to work with? Is he a good person to work with? What's his attitude like? I mean, does he take initiative, or is he timid? Does he sit back? Does he wait to be told what to do? Or does he jump in there and ask, what can he do? What is how is he? That's your reputation. That is tangible. I got to tell you, that is super tangible. I've known people with big resumes that have poor reputations that me, when I've productioned or tour managed, I've said, nah, I do not want that person out on the bus with us. I know that they have a terrible reputation of, whatever it might be, talking politics, smoking weed all the time, that person's a complainer. That person, he only does his or her job and he's not willing to be a team player. Like, that's all contributing to your reputation, and your reputation matters in a big, big way. So mix some solid experience and a solid reputation, which you control, by the way, and you've got some leverageable security in those two things. That means people are going to start talking about you, right? And that leads us to the third R. The people that talk about you, your relationships, okay? Not networking, okay? I like to call it community instead of network, because networking is like surface level. You know, it's kind of like people that are on LinkedIn. They're there to network. You know, they're there to not make friends with you. They're there to see if they can get something from you. You know, that's surface level. In this industry, it's a relationship business. People want to work with people that they know, like, and they trust, right? Well, how can they know, like, and trust you? Well, first of all, they trust you because they know your experience and they know your reputation. Okay. And so they're going to refer you for opportunities. By the way, opportunities aren't just gig opportunities. They might be opportunities to be connected with someone in their circle that they know, in their community that they know, that could also bridge more gaps. Okay. Because this is how gigs are gotten. Your gigs and opportunities are going to be gotten in the depths of your relationship. Most people, hey, they do this. They'll message someone and say, "Hey, I'm looking to fill my schedule. Let me know. Think of me if you got something." Well, everybody's doing that, right? Everybody assumes if you work for a production company locally, everybody assumes that you want to get on the gig. So how many of you, when you're checking into your local shop, how many of you stop by the front office to chat with and get to know and build relationship with the people that are putting and booking the staff on the different gigs? Or do you just check in, say hello, and walk back to the shop and then just go to work? That little bit of relationship building on the front end before you head into work or on your lunch break or whatever it might be, getting to know who someone is, will up your chances of getting your name written down on that project board to be put on that gig because they like you. They like you and they're going to be interested in you. Or how often do you like actually get to know on a personal level your stage managers or production managers or tour managers or even other crew people? Because what happens when that person up in the front office is ready to staff that gig? What do you think that they do? You know, they look at the people that they know, like, and trust first, and then they reach out to the managers and say, "Hey, who do you know, like, and trust that you want to be on this gig?" Right? There's levels to relationships, and the deeper you are in relationship with somebody that knows you, they know your reputation, they like your reputation, they like who you are, and they also trust that you're going to be able to do the work in a good job because of your experience and your resume, right? Does that make sense? If you're a touring person, the way tour gigs are staffed is through relationship building. It's like a production manager might need to hire a monitor engineer. And so what do? They look at their phone and scroll all of the people that they know in their community in their phone that might be monitor engineers. Excuse me. And they will go, "Oh, I'll reach out to this person because I know, like, and trust them. I'll reach out to this person. I know, like, and trust them." Then there's a hierarchy to that too. Who do they know, like, and trust the most? Who's on top of mind the most? Do you only reach out to somebody in your community when you need a gig from them or when you need something from them, right? If you want real job security to where you don't have to worry if an artist is going to go take a break because they want to go into a studio or they need a mental health break or whatever it might be, you're constantly building relationships to the point to where you're having to say no to gigs because you're on a gig. You're not waiting till the gig is gone to start activating your relationships. You're always building relationships. You're always cognizant and conscious of your reputation. And you are always adding new experience and specialty experience to your resume. Does that make sense? Those are the three keys to real job security in this industry. You're not secure with a company or an artist. You're secure because you're good at what you do. People know it. And you have a lot of people in your community that know, like, and trust you enough to put you on opportunities because it also benefits them as well. So that's all I got for this stream. If you have yet to subscribe to the channel, subscribe to the dang channel. Let me help you in your touring career. I am so pumped up to be able to do this with you because I know if you do what I'm coaching you on here on the Cruise Fire channel, if you dive into some of the interviews and learn from some of these other professionals that I've interviewed, as well as take the workshops and classes and master classes that are on this channel, you are going to be a powerhouse in your career. Okay. If you have any questions about the 3 R's or anything, comment below. And that's all I got. Till next time, y'all, go get them.